So I've got an 80% win rate with my strategy over the past few months, and I'm going to share it with you today, show you some trades that I've taken recently and how I approach the markets. If you do want more information about this, you can get it down in the description below. Please do like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know your questions because it really helps the channel, and let's get into it. So very simple. I'm just going to show you my strategy. So basically it's very simple, and I'm going to show you the most simplified version. Really easy to follow, easy to replicate. So basically, say for example this is your price action of your market, like this. All I'll do is every day, and I do post this in the private Discord down below by the way, is I'll just go and mark out all these obvious swing lows on like the 5 minute or something. Really easy to do, takes you like 5 seconds, and then I'll just set alerts at these levels like this. Really couldn't be simpler. And then basically I just wait for these levels to get hit, and then I look for trades from these areas. And what I trade is fair value gaps. So basically I'll look for one of these levels to get hit like this, and then I'll be looking to see if we get a good momentum reaction back up and a fair value gap that gets inversed like this. Really so simple. Honestly, anyone could do this, and the best, most high probability trades that I've had recently have been on the higher time frames, as in the 3 and the 5 minute. I know lots of people, myself included, have traded the 30 second, 1 minute, 2 minute in the past. Those time frames can work, but I find more high probability trades on the 3 and the 5 just because they've got more data involved in them, and there has been some examples recently which I'll show you soon. But obviously, like I said, the most high probability fair value gaps are these 3 pattern candle V-shaped ones that are like this. So basically you've got your liquidity sweep. Say for example this is this, but with the candles shown, you can see you've got your obvious fair value gap created by the first 3 candles, and then you've got your beautiful candle that comes and closes back over them after the liquidity sweep. This is generally that I've found the most high probability reversal pattern in the market, this 3 candle pattern V shape like this. So say for example this is this, and basically what I do is, my strategy is so simple. I wait for this to happen. When we close back above, I'll enter. I copy trade 25 accounts, and I risk about $200 per account per trade. So basically I'll size my trade for about halfway between the low and the gap. So if I am wrong and the trade fails, we'll come and close back below this gap again, and that means that I know that I'm wrong and price is probably going to do this and continue down. But most of the time when you get a 5 minute inversion back up, it's very likely that price will at least have a decent bounce to the upside, and then I'll at least get my trade for 1-to-1. So what I do is I enter. I'm risking about $200 per trade per account, and then I'm looking to target a 1-for-1, and pretty much all the time I've had 100% win rate in terms of hitting my 1-for-1 over the past 3 months, by the way. Basically all that you do is you just wait for this to come and hit a 1-for-1, and then what I'll do is I'll scale half out of my position, close half the position in profit for $100 if I'm risking 200, and then I'll go break even on the rest of the position. And then that means, like I said, usually when you get a 5 minute inversion like this after sweeping liquidity, you will at least get to 1-to-1. But then if I'm wrong about the bias changing completely and we come back, usually we'll come back pretty quickly and hit my break even, and that means that I've banked some profit, but then I haven't just left the position open and then basically got out for break even with the rest of it as a loss. And basically this is how I trade, and then I'll just leave runners for obvious liquidity targets above like this for 2, 3, 4 RR depending on how far we get. And that's basically how I trade. It's really simple. Say for example, again, this is this trade here. I just wait for the inversion, size for about halfway between the low and the gap, and then I'll target 1-for-1. I'll take half my position off here, go break even on the rest, and then I'll leave runners to this high, for example, which would be over 2-to-1, which would be up to around $300 profit or something. And then I'll just basically try and leave as many runners for liquidity targets above as I can. And this is how I trade. It's really quite simple, guys. It's not rocket science. I think my camera might be in the wrong place. Is this better? I don't know. But anyway, as we can see, pretty simple way of trading, and I'm going to show you some examples from recently. So I'm going to go on MNQ because I don't want the alerts that I've got set right now to confuse you. But basically we've had no trades this week because price action has been ridiculous, to be honest. We've had literally, we opened up, where were we? We opened up here, filled the gap, we came down. There was actually a 5 minute here. that you could have taken. I wasn't actually on the charts at this point because this is Asia session, as you can see. But this 5 minute here would have worked. You can see we've got a really obvious liquidity here that did get swept. And there was a 5 minute down here, as you can see, because we were all the way down. But we didn't really have a gap, and we didn't really have a sweep, as you can see. We came down and didn't sweep this low here, so there was no trades for me. And then we ground to the upside into New York session, where we pumped like 500 points off of open, chopped around to the side, no trades here. And then going into Tuesday, we dumped back down 500, almost 1,000 points. And there wasn't really any trades here either, to be honest. None of this was clean. We didn't really get any proper liquidity sweeps and instant inversions. You can see here, we did get some sweeps. If you look here, you can see we got a sweep of this level, but we never got any inversion. We swept this level, but we never got any 5 minute inversion again. It's too bearish. We come all the way down here. We come all the way down to this level where we did get a sweep, but really nothing obvious here, guys. This is just grinding and then a big candle out of nowhere and then grinding down again. No trades here either. So you have to be patient, because my strategy isn't going to give you a setup every single day. Yesterday, Wednesday, again, just grinding to the downside here. You can see not really any clean setups. We did sweep this low here, if you look. We did sweep this low and get this 5 minute inversion here. But if you look at how this formed, we rejected, we came back, and then we inversed it, and I didn't really like how it was looking, especially considering that we had this really obvious area of liquidity below that we were clearly looking to target. So I didn't take this one based on the fact that basically we were just looking to target lower liquidity, in my opinion. You can see we came down here. We've got a series of gaps here, as you can see. At this point, I was waiting for the low to get swept because we hadn't swept the low yet. And then once we swept the low, which was down here, we just never really got any clean inverses back to the upside. I wasn't going to take this one here because it was really just, we were so bearish on the day, and the price action has just been so sketchy this week that I wasn't willing to take any trades. They weren't clean. There wasn't any 3 candle pattern V shapes. There wasn't anything obvious. You really want to just look for the most obvious setups you can with this strategy. So I'll show you last week, because last week had some good trades. Last week was the one for me. Let me just, I've gone too far back again. I always go too far back. Where's Monday here? Monday. Okay, here. So Monday, really, really easy. Remember what I told you about what I'm looking for. I've basically just got alerts set at all my lows. So I wake up at what, I'm on UK time, so I wake up before London at around 8 o'clock. So my chart looks like this at this point. So I wake up, let's say I wake up at 8 here, get on the charts. And then I'm looking, I'm going, okay, we've got a new week opening gap that's come up and been filled. So we're probably pretty bullish. We've already filled that. I've marked out all these lows like this, just like I said I do. So then I wind the price action on, and then all of a sudden we get this amazing, amazing sweep down, momentum down into liquidity here, as you can see. I don't think we got a sweep up here, but obviously really, really good sweep down. And then look at this. We come down. I'm thinking, okay, we're about to tap this liquidity. Super obvious area of liquidity. Look at all these really obvious wicks. Clearly going to get swept, right? So we come down. We sweep this liquidity here, really obvious. Look at this candle. This is perfect. Sweep of liquidity, amazing rejection candle, and we've created this beautiful 5 minute gap. Super obvious. This is what you want to see. Just a sweep down into liquidity and a really good reaction, good momentum reaction. And then in the next candle, we come back, we close over it. I'm thinking, this is a fantastic reversal. This is what you want to see. So I enter, risking about $200. So I was like 3 or 4 micros. Because I don't trade minis, obviously. I trade micros so that I can scale in and out of the position. If you trade like 3 or 4 micros, it means that you can actually take parts of your position off. If you just trade 1 mini, you're not only are you going to be risking quite a lot per trade, you're also going to be not able to scale in and out of stuff because it's just one contract. I like to trade micros because it means that I can scale in and out. But basically, I entered on this. As you can see, this is absolutely perfect. Look at this trade. Bullish on the day. We've filled the gap. We come down. We sweep liquidity. We get a really bullish reaction. We've got a 3 candle pattern V shape. Beautiful momentum. Look at how this closed. This is what you want to see. Come down, sweep liquidity, inverse on the 5 minute. Really, really high probability setup of winning. So then we'll wind it on. You can see we had a little bit of chop for about 20 minutes or so. And then we come up, we hit my 1 for 1. Perfect. So I take half my position off here. This is $100 booked. As I said, I take half off at 1 to 1. If I'm risking $200, then half off is $100 profit. And then I set the rest to break even. And I know now that if I'm wrong, then we're probably just going to reject out of some of these gaps here. Because you can see there's quite a lot of gaps in sequence. We'll probably just reject out of this and just go back down. And I know that I'm wrong, but I booked some profit and I move on. It's very easy. Because my win rate is so high, I don't mind taking negative RR on the first scale, because I know that most of the time I'm going to be right and it's going to run for 2, 3, 4, 5R. So I've took half my position off and I'm at break even. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a winning trade. And then we'll just wind it on for a bit. You can see we had a little bit of chop here, not doing too much. But I'm thinking, I'm still holding, because why would I scale out? And then I see this big impulse here and I go, that's lovely to see. We get up to around a 3 to 1 on this impulse and I take another micro off. It was about $200, $300 profit. So I'm about $400 profit at this point. My maximum is about $700 for my consistency rules on my prop firms. So at this point I'm thinking, I'm already at 400. I've got one more micro. I'm just going to see how things play out going into New York. You can see here, we move around, mess around for a little while. We get up towards this high here, and I'm thinking New York is very soon. It's definitely going to accelerate us through this level. And I'm also looking at this area up here, which is a pretty obvious trend line liquidity. You can see there's probably tons of stop losses above this. And then New York happens and we just basically accelerate through all these levels up to the high. And my final runner, I think I TP'd at about $700, my maximum for consistency. So fantastic trade. This is exactly what you want to be seeing on your charts all the time. Let me just sort my camera out. There we go. This is what you want to be seeing on your charts. I'll go over it one more time. Obvious level of liquidity. Sweep down into it. Beautiful V shape. Beautiful momentum reaction. 3 candle pattern V shape inversion. Enter on the inversion. And then basically I'm targeting 1 for 1. And then I'm targeting liquidity above. And as you can see, this one worked out insanely well. Really, really good trade. Incredible, really. And this was an absolute banger. So let me just come off replay mode now. So that was an absolutely amazing trade. Took about $700 profit on 25 accounts. Absolutely incredible stuff. And that was my first trade. I was definitely done for Monday after that. There's no way in hell I was going to get a better trade than that, or another trade. I was maxed out on consistency anyway. So we're going to Tuesday here. Let's just do this on replay mode as well, because it's interesting, isn't it? So I'll wake up at 8 o'clock as usual for my time. So I've woken up here. We're obviously bullish. I go in and I'll mark all my lows out, just like I always do. Really, really obvious. You can see this takes like literally 5 seconds. It's so easy to do. So you can see we've come down. We swept out a few of these, but no 5-minute gaps here. You can see we're kind of, I'm thinking in my head, we're kind of just going sideways here, chopping sideways. Not doing too much. There was actually a 5-minute inversion here that I considered taking, but then I was thinking it's only a minor sweep. And it ended up losing, as you can see. Closing back below. I didn't take that because it was, I want to be seeing like a really, really obvious sweep of liquidity. We did just sweep this here, as you can see. I want to see one of these levels down here swept. But when these levels get swept, I just remove them and then just reapply them like this. You can see that this is easy. You don't need me to tell you how to suck eggs. It's really obvious. We're just continuing to wait. And then I've just completely missed the open, so I will go back. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, we're getting towards open here. And I'm thinking, what is this, 5 minutes before open? I'm just going to wait and see what happens. So wind this on. We get a swing, a Judas swing to the highs. We come down, we swing through all these levels. And I'm thinking, okay, cool. We've created this really obvious 5-minute gap, as you can see there. I think I also checked on the 3-minute. There wasn't any 3-minute gap. 5-minute gap here, really obvious. And then look at this. Absolutely amazing momentum back to the upside. We initially rejected it, but you can see the momentum is too strong here. You've got an insanely good V shape here. Really, really high momentum. Very high probability that this at least goes up to 1 for 1 where I can go break even. So I entered here with about, I think I took this with 2 or 3 micros, depending on sizing, for $200. And then if I wind this on, you can see we came up, absolutely obliterated 1 for 1, went straight to 2 to 1, because incredible momentum here. If you saw this in live time on the charts, you would have seen just how incredible the momentum was for this trade. It basically just went bang, like it was crazy momentum to the upside. Sweeping through it again, like I said with the previous trade, just a really obvious trend line. Loads of liquidity here. You can see this was very obvious. We were clearly going to come and take all this liquidity with this momentum. This hit a 1 for 1 where I went break. I basically took, I think I actually trailed my first micro. I trailed the first half of my position because of the momentum. Took it at about 2 to 1. I was about $250 profit. Went break even on the rest. And you can see I think I ended up taking most of my position off at a 3 or a 4 to 1 for about $500 profit, because we basically came up and we swept all these highs, and I was thinking we could easily reject from this area now that we've took liquidity. So I think I banked all the profit here at about, I think it was about $500 profit. So another amazing day. You can see it continued to run up. A very bullish day in general. Came down, took liquidity, just started chopping, but mostly just super bullish overall, as you can see. And that was a fantastic day as well. So going into Wednesday then. Wednesday was a weird one. I hate how I have to keep going back. It's really annoying. Wednesday had FOMC in the afternoon, or the evening if it's me, which meant that we were probably going to have a choppy open. You can see absolutely trash price action here. Nothing that you would trade. You can see we did come down, sweep some levels of liquidity, but look at how there's basically no gaps being formed. That's how you know that price action is bad, when you don't have any obvious gaps. You can see I would have marked out all my swing lows here, where you could have potentially tried to take trades from, but when we had FOMC in the evening for me, and you could see how bad this open was, I wasn't really willing to take any trades with price action is not cleared like this. And then you can see there wasn't really anything else here. There was a 3 minute here, which looked like this, but the stop loss was so big on it, I didn't take it. It's very simple. Stop loss was like 50 or 100 points or something. Thursday, we had that catastrophically huge dump, where we dumped 500 points, 600 points straight off open again. So I wasn't really willing to take any trades unless they were super obvious. You can see I would have had all these levels marked. Very, very obvious stuff. This really isn't... It's more difficult to the market than it is to do it. There we go. This really isn't rocket science, guys. This is what I do every single day. I just mark all these obvious lows and wait for them to get hit. It's so simple to trade like this, I can't even tell you. It's like when we start coming down more and more, I'll just go and mark more lows that we can trade from. You can see we swept all of these lows. Massive liquidity sweep. There was a 5 minute that you could have taken here, which was a few 5 minutes in a row, if you wanted to. This is obviously not as clean. You can see there's basically just a tiny 5 minute here. 2 tiny 5 minutes that get closed over in sequence, but we are running into this next 5 minutes, so... But really this would have worked as well, as you can see, with that good momentum. I can't remember if I took this one. I think I might have taken it with a, like, not with all my accounts, but with a few of them, just because I liked the momentum, and we did inverse 2 5 minute gaps there after a huge dump. We're massively in discount, probably due for a pullback and a rebalance. And as you can see, this one worked as well. This would have worked for like a 3 to 1 if you'd held it long enough. And that's my strategy, guys. It's really not that complicated. I think it's quite simple, and I really do appreciate you watching. If you do want to get more information about this, please do like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, ask me questions, go in the description and sign up for the private Discord, join the community. I do post alerts and signals for all the trades that I take in there, as well as like just daily updates and daily forecasts with all the levels that I've got marked. And I will catch you in the next video. Cheers.